Rich, are the Seahawks 6-2 and 28th in the waiver wire priority with another weapon now for Russell Wilson. For more on his reaction and also the availability of Gordon at 28. Why did 27 other teams pass on Gordon? Here's Ian Rappaport.
As soon as it became clear that Seattle had become the new home for former Patriots receiver Josh Gordon, he took to Instagram and posted a message. That message, love this. Hashtag Go Hawks. Yeah, safe to say that Gordon was pretty pleased going from one of the best teams in the AFC to one of the best teams in the NFC. And the fact that Russell Wilson, his quarterback, strongly advocated for this only added to why it was a perfect place for Gordon. But still, Seattle had number 28 in the waiver claim priority list. That means 27 other teams decided Gordon was not for them. So let's look at why. First of all, it was known by those teams that he didn't really want to go to a place without a winning record, a place that had no chance for the playoffs, and probably wouldn't have been a great investment for any of those teams either, especially if he wouldn't have been happy to be there. So, cross off the first 10 teams, and after that, it is obvious he is not for everyone. A player who has dealt with off-the-field issues, been in and out of rehab, been suspended a couple times. Certainly this is someone who you'd have to have a perfect environment to welcome Gordon into it. And that brings us to Seattle. General Manager John Schneider and Coach Pete Carroll have done a great job over the years of opening their arms and making a lot of different players with a lot of different issues work to their advantage and to the advantage of the player. That is another reason why this structure and this environment might be perfect for Gordon, and why no doubt Seattle is pretty excited to have him.
As for Gordon's former team, the Patriots have a big game on Sunday against the team right behind them in scoring offense. Patriots number 1, Ravens number 2. They are number 1 in rushing with a quarterback who outranks all but 8 running backs in yards per game. That's Lamar Jackson, who will be facing Tom Brady for the first time in his career.
Yeah, I've seen him play a few times this year too, and just exceptionally talented. Speed, quickness. He's throwing the ball well. He just has great awareness in the pocket, when to run. I think his productivity has really been unmatched. What they do a good job offensively is they keep the other offense from possessing the football too. We'll probably only have 60, 65 plays or something like that. So you got to make them count.
Lamar's a very good deep ball thrower. He really has a nice touch on those throws. He's made a lot of good throws, 40, 50 yards downfield. Just drop the ball right on a dime. And Brown tracks it extremely well. So, yeah, that's a big, they do that very well.
Hollywood Brown questionable but expected to play. For more on the Patriots, here's Mike Giardi.
The Patriots defense is putting up numbers that would make the 2000 Ravens and the 1985 Chicago Bears blush. They are number 1 in every important category there is and on pace to be number 1 with a bullet. However, they're finding this week a little bit difficult to prepare for. That Greg Roman offense with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. In fact, Bill Belichick, Devin McCourty, and Kyle Van Noy said basically you can't replicate what they do in practice, certainly at the quarterback position, because no one has that legitimate speed and then, of course, the arm to flick the ball 55, 60 yards down the field. And Van Noy made mention of the fact that it's sort of like a college offense, and it's something that you don't see very often in the National Football League, and it really sort of changes the assignments. The Patriots trying to deal with this because they know Jackson can be a game breaker. Just ask, many of the opponents that the Ravens have played this year.
Best game of the week by far, in my opinion. What's the key to winning it, TD?
Well, we know the first key for the Patriots is to stop Lamar Jackson. That is it. That quarterback, whether he's in the pocket or out, you've got to stop the ability for him to run with the football. I think the second thing is the Patriots have been really good at taking the ball away. 25 on the year, 25. The second best team, the Pittsburgh, with 19. And what they do is 3 of their first games or scores have come from a takeaway. So that means that 3 times they've scored, their first score, they got the ball from somebody and scored a touchdown. That is hard for you to fathom or try to count on that to keep happening, but they're doing it. Their defense is scoring touchdowns. They're blocking punts. They're giving their offense a chance to score touchdowns without their offense going the length of the field. If they can do that against Baltimore, they have a great chance of beating them, and I think they will get the ball from the Ravens.
Patriots-Ravens, the primetime game on Sunday. Vikings-Chiefs is one of 6 games that we're going to see in the 1 o'clock window. Will we see Adam Thielen? He's listed as questionable with a hamstring injury. It's the same designation that Patrick Mahomes has this week for Kansas City. So there is a chance that we see him back under center, where we know that Kirk Cousins will be for the Vikings.
He's doing a nice job. I mean, he's running the offense very well. He's throwing the ball accurately when given that, when he's doing that, and he's surrounded with good people. I mean, their offensive staff is a good staff, and his line's playing good for him. He's got good receivers and good running backs around him, and I think he's doing a heck of a job.
Well, he certainly has lately. That Vikings offense, first in the league in yards per game since week 5. That was, of course, the Kirk Cousins apology game. They've won every game since that time. What's the key to them winning this one?
Listen, I'm looking at Kirk Cousins, and I'm saying, listen, no matter what, you continue to run the ball if you're the Minnesota Vikings. But when you give Kirk Cousins the ball in his hands and you want him to make plays, I think you have to move that launch point. Just that game you talked about against the Detroit Lions, they moved that launch point, they got him outside of those hashes, and they allowed his receivers to run themselves open, and Kirk Cousins had that security and that peace of mind to just literally just throw the ball up. Listen, you don't have to get him all the way out the hashes. Here, he's right inside the middle of the hashes. The launch point is moved. Receivers running themselves open. That is how the Minnesota Vikings are going to continue to create themselves open and explosive plays in the pass game, and they're just literally outrunning everyone. And that is the key for Minnesota to have explosive plays and win this game.
They've been good. The Chiefs' defense, not so much. They've been having a rough go of it this year, though. They might get Chris Jones back this week. He is questionable. His return would be huge for them with Dalvin Cook on the other side of the ball. After the break on NFL Total Access.
Magical!
Deshaun, DeKick, and now DeJags.
Jacksonville is alive and well.
How worried should Watson be? If you're scoring at home, we've seen a Baker drop off.
Baker Mayfield picked off, but this one really stings.
And we've seen a Baker walk off.
What? Jesus, Tony.
Isn't it about time we saw a Baker lift off? The unbeaten Niners are about to kick off a brutal stretch of games without a vitally important player. Who's out? What now? Plus, she's not trying to blaze a trail, and yet she is. She's not trying to prove a point, and yet she is. She's just trying to play football, and yes, she is. Still to come on NFL Total Access.